Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to explain and recap a recently released movie called Do Not Enter. The movie begins with a badly injured lady crawling in an abandoned, old, dark building. Suddenly, she screams in horror as if she is going to die. Now we are shown a backstory of a seaside hotel called the Hotel Paragon from 1980. It's a multi-story, beautiful building for tourists, business, and gambling, owned by a wealthy business tycoon named Morgan Carlyle. He was seen with a notorious mob gangster, Meyer Lansky, who, according to rumor, had an affair with Carlyle's wife. The hotel closed its operations after Carlyle's wife was murdered by an unknown person. Apparently, the killer had removed the literal heart from her body. It's widely believed that Lansky had stashed his millions of money in the building. After the murder, Carlyle could not be found anywhere, and hence city officials closed the building. Now, in the present, we see 5 young and energetic guys on a student loan as a group called the Creepers. These kids were eager to make a quick buck by posting videos of restricted and horrifying places on the internet. Here, Rick, a security worker by day, is a pseudo-leader who chooses places and gears. His girlfriend is Diane, who wants to be famous. Vern, the photographer, and Cora, a smart girl who could unlock ways in any difficult places. As a side muscle, a guy called JD is also in this team. These guys have chosen a rare place in an underground metro as their project. It's a graffiti by the Basquiat. First, these guys disguised themselves as construction workers to bypass the police, then jumped from the moving train onto a track where another train was about to run over them. But somehow these freaks survived by running like hell. I guess the risk of life was engulfed in the thrill of life. Pure idiocracy. Cora opened the main locked door with her special skills of breaking in, and they finally saw the masterpiece. Vern started taking photos. These guys had a code of no touching and no stealing. They wanted to keep their business strictly legal, but JD here disagreed. He wanted money for his effort, as cash on hand was worth more than a pile of cash in a mirror. He was not sure about the venture being successful. As he started to break the graffiti tile, a fight broke out between him and Rick. JD overpowered him and walked away with a piece of the tile from the artwork. Next, we see that the video these guys had uploaded had only 82 views, and JD had joined another big fan-following group called the Scavengers. There, he had uploaded his collection by mocking the Creepers as losers. Rick and the team felt sorry seeing this, as the Scavengers were known to be psychos with no moral code. Rick now placed the plan of Hotel Paragon on the table. His thinking was that this would be the smash hit, because the hotel, by this time, has become infamous as a haunted place. The legend of gangsters Lansky's $300 million being stashed there grew into an urban legend. Many tried to enter the hotel in search of it, but none returned. Rick here again makes it clear about the code and asks everyone to stick to it. Diane had dyed her hair purple to impress Rick, who was shocked to see it. His comment slightly triggers her, who in anger posts on Insta about Hotel Paragon as their next project. The next day, they booked a room in a motel near Paragon, as planned. A middle-aged guy named Frank, working with Vice News Network, arrived here as a surprise. Apparently, he has seen Diane's Instagram post and was eager to cover this story of how these guys would crack into the hotel. Rick and Vern were skeptical about him, suspected him of being an undercover agent for the police, but Sora was hopeful about the boost they might get due to the free publicity in the press. Anyway, these guys decided to take Frank with them, but there was a small problem. Due to some confusion, Rick had forgotten to bring an extra fuel can for emergencies. Hence, Frank offered his van for the moment, and next we see them in front of a big underground tunnel. The police had barricaded and sealed all the ways leading to the hotel, so this was the only easy way. At this moment, the weather takes a turn for the worse. Dark clouds hover in the sky, indicating a heavy downpour. These guys enter the tunnel, which ends at the narrow pipe. To go further, one has to crawl into it. As they were crawling inside the pipe, a burst of running rats rushed towards them. Cora screamed and freaked out in horror as she had a phobia towards them. After this, all entered at the side door of the hotel, which was locked and closed with stacked garbage. Diane thought of finding another way, so she left the group to find the way on her own. Meanwhile, Cora, with her skills, opened the lock, and once inside, Vern started taking images. Rick went on a live stream, while Cora and Frank were surprised by the sheer size of this place. On the other side, Diane also found a way in, and she too went live on her Instagram. Rick, in happiness, screamed louder, which triggered the pigeons inside to freak out in horror. They crashed on a chandelier on their way out, which would have fallen upon Cora if she hadn't had quick reflexes. Diane moves to the first-floor ballroom with a piano and disco-style ball. She plays the piano a little. Rick was calling her again and again, but she kept ignoring him. After some time, she heard a repeated noise, which freaked her out. She, in horror, tries to run like Usain Bolt, but slips on the stairs. Her mobile phone falls down, pointing its front-facing camera towards her. Suddenly, we sense that someone or something was standing behind her, but we only see its hand. Rick was worried sick, with no reception from Diane. Cora tells him to chill. Here, she and Frank talk, and we come to know that Frank had a wife named Amanda. Vern was taking photos. He saw something in the dark that freaked him to death. On one of the walls, there was a marking of claws. He quickly ran back to the group and showed him, which made Rick worried. He decided to get the hell out of here ASAP after getting Diane. He and Frank moved in one direction in search of her, while Cora and Vern moved the other. Near the reception, a big statue was covered, giving a spooky vibe. Here, Cora jokes about Vern freaking out, as she thought he had some tolerance for fear. At the reception table, Vern finds an old newspaper from 1980, which states the owner of the Paragon Hotel is missing after his wife's brutal murder. With her heart literally taken out of her body, he was nowhere to be seen. As Frank and Rick were walking around, Rick's foot got trapped in a bear trap, and he screamed like hell. Cora and Vern rushed in to see this horror, in shock to wonder who would keep a bear trap in a hotel. Also, why would one do it? Frank does the first aid by stopping the bleeding with a kerchief and tying it with duct tape. Just at that moment, all heard the tune of Diane's mobile, which was coming from the floor above. As all rushed in to check it out, they were shocked to see a gigantic banyan tree with hundreds of cameras hanging from its branches. It's the gears of all the people who entered this hotel to capture its mysteries all these years. Diane's mobile was also hanging there, and these guys watched her last video where she was running and fell down. Before they could finish the video, the battery of the mobile phone ran out. Just then, all of them heard the same scary noise that Diane had heard in the first place. Cora was now genuinely freaked out. The moment ago, she was joking about Vern's fear. Now she was scared shitless. She suggests calling the cops, but Frank and Rick said otherwise. It will take time for cops to come here. Diane's life was in immediate danger. Hence, once again, all started to move out in search of her. Just then, JD jumped in front of Cora from nowhere to scare her, which caused Frank to draw his gun in a reflex action. Vern was surprised by this, as he had always doubted Frank's intentions. Another guy, called Todd, sneakily attacked Frank to steal his gun, and another guy, Mac, picked it up. These guys were called scavengers, another group who were doing similar work to these guys, but dirty. JD had joined them because their motive was to rob and steal artifacts from projects to get rich quickly. Here, Todd is the leader and a full psychopath. Here, he was only interested in Lansky's stashed money. To get it, he now tortures Cora, which disturbs JD. To distract this psycho, Frank narrates his story. He says his wife is a reporter, and 2 months ago she went missing with her photographer. They were doing a story about Morgan Carlisle. Cops did nothing in finding them, and Frank never got a way in. When he saw Cora's post, he jumped in. All the touchy story didn't move a needle for Todd, who became reckless for money. Cora, out of desperation, spits on him, which aggravates him further. The scarf he removes from his pocket to wipe it off turns out to be Diane's, which Rick recognizes. He charges at Todd to confront him with his limping leg, but this psycho counterattacks him and throws him from above. Incidentally, the floor below was damaged with holes, so Rick went missing through it. JD was shocked to see this kind of mad behavior from Todd, and as he objected, Todd gave him a tight slap as well. Todd was only interested in the money. He wanted it by hook or crook. The problem was the money was at Morgan's office. Only Rick had the blueprint plan that could lead them there. Now he's missing. Todd takes everyone down to find Rick at gunpoint. Because this hotel was old and abandoned, it had many holes in different places. One such hole blocked these guys' way, but Cora here used her gymnastic skill to jump over it. She found a body similar to Rick's size, but fortunately it was not him. It's a skeleton of some other guy who had ventured into the hotel for money. Since it was not Rick, Todd forced the others to walk away in search of him. While leaving, he shot at the cables through which Cora had jumped across the hole so that she wouldn't follow them. After some time, these guys heard some noise from an adjacent room. Upon checking it, there was only a closet. As Mac opens it to see inside, an extremely weak lady, starving, grabs his hand. It turns out she's Beth, the photographer who came with Amanda. Frank quickly recognized her. Beth warns him that they're in danger. He will kill them all. By this time, these guys have understood that someone is here hunting people. Todd orders Mech to put on their night vision goggles and close all curtains. Just then, a demon-like creature silently entered the room and attacked JD. The creature pierced his head with a rod. Todd and Mech, in panic, fired at it but missed. The creature was way too fast, like an animal, and in all this shooting, one bullet accidentally hit Beth. Poor lady, first starved for 2 months and died at the hands of these idiots. Frank felt hopeful as he thought, like Beth, Amanda could be alive somewhere. We see Diane waking up in a room full of candles and some sort of satanic rituals. She tries to run from there, but she's locked in. Cora, in search of Rick, enters a room where Rick is hiding under the bed. The moment these two started to talk, the sound of the creature crawling echoed. Cora rushed into a nearby cabinet to hide, while Rick hid himself again under the bed. The creature looked around at first and then opened the cabinet. Cora, being fit like a gymnast, was smartly hanging upside down to evade it, but the creature found her and started dragging her. Rick, in panic, attacked the creature by grabbing its legs. This distraction allowed Cora to escape from there, leaving Rick to his fate. The creature grabbed Rick from one hand and threw him away to follow Cora. By this time, Cora was already in the lift. The creature tried its best to grab her but failed. Cora, while sobbing, thinking of Rick being dead, reached the next floor to the CCTV room, from which she could see the whole hotel. She sees Diane in one room, and in the other room, a lady's body with a big hole in the chest. The CCTV room had many recordings with dates on them. One such recording had satanic symbols and blood on it. When she played it, we got most of the answers. In the video, Morgan Carlisle, the hotel's owner, says that the gangster Lansky gave him a satanic book called His Dark Majesty to get dark powers. To get these powers, Carlisle first did the transformational ritual, where he killed his wife, removed her heart, and ate it. This made him into a pale creature, which we saw earlier. Meaning, after the incident, Carlisle didn't vanish in grief, but hid himself in the hotel to do the next ritual. The same book is now in Diane's room, where she read all of it. For the next ritual, Carlisle, aka the creature, wants to marry Diane, for which he had kept a wedding dress in the room. The wedding must be consensual, otherwise it won't work. Once she accepts this invitation, the merger of the creature and Diane's soul will make him an immortal entity with many dark powers. If you ask me why any girl in her right mind would agree to such a thing, then Diane has always wanted to be famous and remembered. This is the opportunity that would make her name immortal as well. Even though she may be sacrificed, her name will be cherished. Once Carlisle became immortal, nothing could stop him. We see Todd and Mac finally in Gangster Lansky's office, where his rotten body is surrounded by his illicit money. His head and heart were missing as well.
Todd was joyous in his greed, while Mac was scared shitless. He thought something was wrong at this place and refused to touch the money. He ran like hell from there, but a trap wire put in place by somebody to kill the creature severed his head from his body. Todd, while running, encountered the creature with the money and was killed like Lansky. Frank and Vern saw Mac's body and the trap. They found a walkie-talkie in his bag, from which a voice was coming. Cora was watching them from her CCTV room and began guiding them through the device. The creature heard the voice and immediately started running towards them. It was on a different floor, which gave these guys some time to escape. They rushed into the kitchen and locked the door using a dough roller. In the kitchen, there was a food elevator, used to shift food to different floors. Cora gave them the idea of using it to reach the penthouse. However, the elevator had to be manually pulled using a rope from inside, since power was off. First, Vern went in. He grabbed the rope and somehow managed to reach the penthouse, where Cora pulled him out. When it was Frank's turn, the creature suddenly rushed into the kitchen, kicked the door open, and started crawling up the elevator shaft walls. Frank realized he was not going to make it to the top. He quickly pulled himself up to the next floor opening and shouted to Vern, "Cut the rope as soon as the creature jumps onto the elevator." Vernon did exactly that. The moment the creature landed on the elevator, he cut the rope. Frank jumped to safety on the next level, while the creature, along with the elevator, plummeted down the shaft. Next, we see Frank in front of the old tree where his wife, Beth's phone, was still hanging. Just then, Cora told him about the woman she had seen earlier. Upon checking, it turned out to be Frank's wife, Amanda. Deep down, Frank already knew she was dead, but he needed to confirm it. He put his jacket around her body and found some sort of closure. However, the anger inside him was enormous. He returned to the penthouse, where Cora showed him that the creature was still alive, and so was Diane. Surprisingly, she was wearing a wedding dress. The creature had come for her in the hope of getting married, but Diane had played it smartly here. She put on the dress only for the creature to open the door. She slapped hard at the creature's face with the book and then ran for her life. This naturally enraged the creature. It started chasing her with full force. Frank saw this and ran towards them. Since both were on the same floor, it was easy for him to reach them. He ran towards the creature, tackled it, and jumped with it from the top floor to the ground. Surprisingly, the creature landed on the tree, and one of the thick branches pierced its heart, killing it once and for all. The hotel was tall. Any fall from such a height was fatal. Frank had sacrificed himself for his friends, as well as for his wife. These guys were naturally shaken to the core. They had never imagined the day would end like this. Cora brought the other two to the room where Rick was lying. She thought he had died, but surprisingly, he was only unconscious. He was alive. The group took many photos and videos and uploaded them to their channel, which made them an overnight sensation. Major news outlets began telecasting their story of finding Lansky's missing money, and their videos received over 100 million views. Here, Rick, for the first time, broke his code and scooped some of Lansky's money, which made Vern and Cora excited. With this, the movie ends.
It's a great light horror entertainment. Firstly, the movie is inspired by David Morrell's 2005 book called The Creepers. The book had 5 historians come urban explorers with a passion for investigating abandoned buildings and their dying secrets. In the movie, it's changed to Gen Z budding YouTubers who want to make a quick buck. It's beautifully modified to today's influencers' toxic situation. A bunch of Gen Z guys in deep student loan debt thought of social media as a new get-rich-quick tool. Initially, these guys had code, pretending this to be an honest wage. But in the end, Rick took the money and broke the code. I guess he understood that in the 21st century modern world is a casino. Working hard and honestly may pay the bills, but it's just doing that, paycheck to paycheck. It's okay to break the rule if it's not hurting anyone. I guess the police would confiscate the gangsters' money after taking their cut. The movie clearly says morality is a fine line. JD was clear from the first scene. He cares only for money. He joined the criminals, the scavengers, only to make money by compromising ethics and morality. In the end, he tried not to cross the line completely, but it's too late. The abandoned hotel is honestly the best part of the movie. It's super atmospheric with all these creepy hidden spots and twisty hallways that feel a lot like The Shining. Overall, it's a watchable movie to enjoy. That's it for now. Please subscribe to my channel and give it a like. Thanks for watching.